Summer has just started and there have already been a handful of deaths in the Ocmulgee River. That's why the Macon-Bibb Fire Department is warning the community about possible dangers in the water so your fun does not turn into tragedy. 41 NBC's Fiona King has more.
With fun still comes responsibility, and the responsibility is to be safe.
Fire Chief Ron Smith with the Macon-Bibb Fire Department stressing the importance of water safety this summer. He says they do have resources available to handle rescues on the river, but he'd rather not have to use them. Macon-Bibb Fire Department has a rescue dive team. Every time they step into a lake or river, they have to strap on this heavy tank and also grab one of these masks. These face masks allow them to talk to other divers in the river or lake. Smith says they have over 60 certified divers in Macon-Bibb County.
At any given point in time, we have 10 to 15 that are on duty every single time. We have one main dive station. We have two different dive boats that we use for different scenarios, depending on the river levels, whether it's higher or lower, that enable us to adapt to often changing environments when dealing with the river.
The chief says while rivers and lakes are a summertime treat for many to cool off during the heat, they do pose a very serious risk, especially with those underwater hazards.
This is a natural environment, so water flows down it, and what happens, it can bring in trees, stumps, and limbs. So when you do that, it becomes a hazard for potential punctures, knocking somebody where they're incapacitated. You could get entangled in brush that might have been fine last week, but this week, as the water came down, it created a more hazardous environment.
He adds what most don't realize is just how strong the current is under the surface.
People get dehydrated, they get tired, they get fatigued. So when we're looking at natural bodies of water, whether it be a lake or we're looking at a river, which is the subject we're talking about, it can turn somebody who's an avid swimmer into the same category as a non-swimmer because they get worn down, they get tired. So when they do find themselves in an emergency, it's increasingly more difficult to get themselves out of that scenario.
Changing environments are just some of the risk factors people must be aware of when entering a river or lake. Macon resident Penny Barentine says when she takes her kids to the river, she keeps them close by.
You always take the risk anytime you go, in Mother Nature's background or backyard, but I don't know, it's just, like I said, use common sense and a little bit of caution and you should be fine.
In Macon, Fiona King, 41 NBC News.